Well, hello, everybody. Thank you very much for joining me today on this Sunday. Hope everybody's having an awesome weekend. So, today I'm going to go over this little guy that I found about 3 weeks ago at a Target. I couldn't pass it up when I saw it. I love Batman. As far as DC, the DC world goes, I know I dive into a lot of Marvel, but Batman and Superman, my two faves. Batman being, I'd say, probably top Superman. In all honesty, it's, I don't know. He's a more relatable character. When I was a little kid, it was Superman, but as I grew up, it became Batman. Even my like around 12ish, I just kind of the '89 Batman movie I think had a lot to do with that. But anyway, so I'm going to dive into this. But before I do want to make a shout out announcement. So, tomorrow, I have the honored privilege of joining Pastor Ken and Three Good Nerds over at Pastor Ken's Curveballs. I have a link down in the description. And we're going to have, I do believe, the first nerd talk, essentially. And it's going to be a lot of fun. It'll be a live stream, again on Pastor Ken's channel. And yeah, we're going to talk about all things nerdy, a variety of different topics that each one of us perhaps will bring to the table. It's going to be laid back, just friends together, having fun, talking nerddom. And it's funny, the term nerd has changed over the years in its overall perception and meaning. And I remember very much when I was in school and, grammar school on up through high school, a nerd was a very derogatory term. And for those who were, quote unquote, nerds, who embraced said nerddom, it was great. But many people, that wasn't really the case. And nerd had a derogatory kind of meaning. Nowadays, the majority of individuals, they don't hide behind the video games they play. The video games are pop culture, and almost everybody and their brother plays them. Comic book characters with the Marvel movies, becoming actual motion pictures, quality motion pictures. That changed a lot of things as well. The whole landscape of the society and the idea of nerdism has completely changed. So, yeah, I think everybody in some way, shape, or form in the modern day perception and characteristic of what is a nerd has some form of nerd in them. So, nerds, we're going to go ahead and tear into this box. I'm going to take my time. This is not going to be a rapid race rip by any means. I'm curious about this set. Before I open it with the Ken Griffey Jr. winning run baseball bat, Super Nintendo pen. What does it say? Let's see, 6 cards per pack, 6 packs per blaster. May contain time-sensitive redemptions. One Can Only Hope by Skybox. Metal Universe. Let's see, a whole bunch going on there. It's got, all the rarities and all that kind of stuff. I'll just set it right there in case you want to pause it and take a closer look. I mean, I would love to get some kind of a hit. A couple of Poison Ivy and Edward somebody back there. I don't know. And yeah, more of the same. Gotham City Metal, Killer Croc. Killer Croc. And, something Hood. I'm assuming Red Hood. And Nightwing. I do remember Nightwing. All right, so anyway, we're going to go ahead and tear it. Oh, yeah, and you got Harley Quinn. Collect Blaster exclusive Aqua FX parallel card. So I'm assuming she is an Aqua FX parallel card. I loved the Batman animated series, Harley Quinn and Mr. J. The Joker, as Harley would often say. Mark Hamill did such a phenomenal job as the Joker in the animated series. I absolutely love it. All right, so let's dive into this. And if I didn't say, I do apologize. So tomorrow night is again the nerd live stream with Pastor Ken, Three Good Nerds, and myself. It's going to be at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Central Time. And yeah, by all means, I hope that if you have the time and you would like to join in and watch us do what we do, and it'll be a lot of fun. So I highly encourage everybody to join, watch, comment. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right, so we have 6 packs here. No particular order. I'm just going to go ahead and dive into and see what we can get. See what we can see inside. Looks like we got Harley Quinn on the front, along with, I guess that's Batgirl. And I do love the metal cards. If it's the same kind of cards that I remember back in the day being metal, like the Marvel Metal Universe and things like that, they were really killer. Okay. Yeah, these look nice. All right, so they definitely have a nice metal look to them, a sheen to them. They're thick cards. And let's see, who is this? This is Gypsy. Hero. So I'm guessing it's going to say heroes or villains. Gypsy. Powers, abilities, powers, illusion casting, invisibility, fear projection, advanced hand-to-hand combat, martial arts. Gypsy had been a runaway until she became a hero for various teams, including the Birds of Prey. She could make not only herself invisible, but also her teammates and other objects invisible. The power came in handy whenever they needed to avoid their foes. And then we've got, looks like a Riddler-esque, a Lady Riddler, Query, and Echo. Okay, I'm assuming they got their inspiration from the Riddler, but I have no idea. Powers, abilities, demolitions, athletics, proficiency with firearms. With the ability to get as much money as he wanted, whenever he wanted, the Riddler had power. His ill-gotten wealth and infamy attracted a certain kind of woman, the criminal kind. In exchange for a share of the profit, Query and Echo became the Riddler's right-hand women. Outstanding. I love the storylines with all of these. This is a cool card. I'm guessing this is some kind of a variant. Ragman, a hero. Okay. And it says, powers, abilities, the Suit of Souls gave Ragman the powers of superhuman strength, agility, and speed, and the ability to float on air currents. Mystical rags enveloped Rory Regan, as he became Ragman, seeking out evildoers. In the evil souls within the rags, if the evil souls within the rags were to overcome him, the rags would be in control. His love must conquer this evil so that he could use the rags for good. Interesting. Always nice when, somebody uses the rags for good versus the rags for evil. And we have Batman, the one and only Batman, hero, of course. It's kind of, this must be one of those Aqua parallels that they were talking about on the box. Beautiful card. Let's see, Batman Jason Todd. Expert martial artist trained by Batman and Secret Order all cased. Skilled detective and gymnast, street smart, expert marksman. I am Batman, Jason Todd said, when his former mentor Bruce Wayne was gone. He didn't follow Bruce's moral compass and methods. He thought that Gotham City needed a Batman who could cross the line and strike fear into the hearts of criminals. Which, In my last, I think it was the last Marvel Masterpiece Theater that I did, I made mention of wouldn't it be awesome if they had a Punisher Batman duo, akin to like a Wolverine Deadpool kind of thing, because Batman had that moral compass. The Punisher technically is a good guy, yes, but much more explosive, and it's not going to hurt his feelings if bad guys go down in the process. This Batman, this iteration, reminds me of a culmination of those two entities combined. He's much more Punisher-like in his methodology. All right, so who is this? Lady Blackhawk, hero. Powers, abilities, basic hand-to-hand combat, boxing, aerial combat, marksmanship, multilingualism. Lady Blackhawk, the last of the Blackhawks, was a pilot in World War II, but then she found herself living in modern times. She had little purpose in her life until she became a pilot for the birds of prey. Just don't tell her how to fly. Leave the flying to her, Skipper. I will remember that. I would imagine she wouldn't take kindly to any constructive criticism. And then we have... okay, Black Canary. So from Black Hawk to Black Canary. That's pretty cool. Okay, Black Canary, who are you? Expert in martial arts, extensive military and covert operations training. Metahuman ability allows her to emit a piercing sound, the canary cry, that can shatter metal. Can you imagine? Every mission carried its risks, yet Black Canary, a longtime member of the Birds of Prey, always dove right into the hot zones. While her compassion might overrule her caution, she had a canary cry that could take down any foe. And I'm not even going to try to scream that out, but essentially it would be scream, but so loud and so intense that it could shatter steel. I would just imagine a line of individuals on ground zero of that. There would be heads exploding. That's all I'm saying. If not, a hell of a headache. And yeah, some other problems, probably neurologically related down the road. Okay, so we're gonna go into pack 2. I'm not gonna lie. I do like these cards. I think they're attractive cards. I like the make of them. They're nice, solid, sturdy cards, and it does give you that metal feel. This guy is cool. Who is this? See, I don't know these guys. I don't know my DC like I know Marvel, and this guy looks killer. He gives me a Knight Templar vibe, but Azrael, hero. Interesting. Azrael, makes me wonder if there's anything angelic related, but let's see. Michael Lane, swordsmanship, hand-to-hand combat, martial arts. Michael Lane got a chance to make up for his crimes by becoming Azrael for the Order of Purity. While he dealt with evildoers wielding the sword of sin and the sword of salvation, he risked losing his own mind when he wore the suit of sorrows. I want to know more about Azrael. I'm going to do a deep dive on this guy because it's screaming my interest. Definitely down my alley there. All right, and in this guy, we've got Geoforce, hero. Geoforce, I don't know, does he affect the elements or something? Let's see, control over gravity, okay, yeah. G-forces, plus gravity and null gravity. Lava blasts, lava blast-based flight, that sounds interesting. Power over the earth. Yeah, the power over the earth, that's what struck me. And I'm going to talk about a story. When I was a kid, there was a role-playing game called Marvel something, the role-playing game, Superheroes, I think. And I created a little character called Elemental, and that's exactly what he did. He had the power over the earth. Let's see, his name is Brian Markov. Brian Markov, the Prince of Markovia, went through an experiment that empowered him and allowed him to control the earth as Geoforce. He became more than a prince, he became Markovia's savior. Along with his obligation to his people, he served with the outsiders. This guy looks interesting, as well as the next person. But a gentleman ghost. I'm not going to lie. This intrigues me. So what is Gentleman Ghost about? Which reminds me of a character that I had to role play one time in a story that I created. Powers, abilities: invisibility, intangibility, teleportation, marksmanship, equestrianism, and mind control. I knew there was something about this guy that I liked. Caught between life and death, the Gentleman Ghost walked the moonlit nights, charming wealthy women and stealing their jewels. But arresting a phantom proved to be nearly impossible, for when the moon vanished from the sky, so vanished the ghostly thief. You sly devil, you. Interesting. I will definitely look more into the Gentleman Ghost. But that brings us to the White Rabbit. I mean, that's got to strike some curiosity. It's also on the Aqua, which is cool. So what in the world? I have no idea. Like, you could take so many guesses as to what this person, what their specialty is. Anyway, who they work for. Do they work for anybody? Okay, so self-duplication, deception, high stamina and agility, hand-to-hand combat, and escapology. Intriguing. He's late. He's late. Batman is so terribly late. There's a shortcut to Gotham City's Mad Tea Party. If Batman only follows the White Rabbit, what criminals have saved the Dark Knight a seat tonight? The answer waits at the bottom of the rabbit hole. That's interesting. I like the way they brought in that Alice in Wonderland vibe, because the little bunny ears, I really didn't know what to expect. But I do like that. I like the way they went that route. That's cool. Then we've got good old Robin, the original, I'm guessing, original Robin. This looks, okay, this is some kind of refractor, I think. Refractor, I don't know if it's a prism or what. Jason Todd. If Jason Todd didn't become Robin, he probably would have continued a life of crime. Instead, Batman found Jason, who had stolen the tires from the Batmobile, and Jason's life was changed forever. I did not know that. He became Batman's new Robin. His view of everything, especially justice, was informed by his experience on the streets. I did not know that that's how Batman met Robin. He was trying to take the tires off the Batmobile. Little punk. But it's okay. It worked out for everybody in the end. Clown Hunter. Also a hero. Definitely strong cyberpunk vibe there. Looks like a kid. When I come home from school, I'm going to clown hunt. I don't know. That's the impression that I get. But powers, abilities, martial weaponry. Basically, pick up your nearest baseball bat and go ham. Okay, with his brutal approach to dealing with criminals, Clown Hunter used his bat against the clowns who worked for his parents' killer, the Joker. His recklessness might get him killed, though. He would join Batman Inc. later and trained to better himself. Well, good for you, kiddo. And yeah, that's a good cause. That's a good cause. I take back all of the silly things I said previously. Okay, next pack. And I'm having fun diving into these guys. I hope you guys are enjoying it. Taking time out of your day to watch this. If it's too long for some, I totally understand. Passing it by. Beast Boy. Hero. I remember Beast Boy on, what was it? Justice? Not Justice League. Teen Titans, I think. Okay, so powers, abilities. Genetic code provides a link with the red, enabling transformation into any desired animal form. Beast Boy was a one-man zoo. This green hero could turn into any animal for fun and for a fight with any villain as he worked with the Teen Titans, there we go, to take their enemies down. Growing up with the team, this jokester kept things upbeat as they helped the world. I liked Beast Boy. He was fun character. And they all kind of were, really. Killer Moth, villain. Killer Moth, what is your story? Let's see. Hand-to-hand combat, Moth-themed gimmicks, and intimidation. A true villain always has a moth-themed gimmick or two up their sleeve. Nothing attracted Killer Moth quite like the limelight, but his career as a supervillain for hire seemed moth-eaten before it had even begun. Buzzing with rage, Moth finally took on a job that allowed him to spread his wings, squashing Batgirl like a bug. Poor Batgirl. I wonder what happened to Batgirl in her encounter with Killer Moth. And this guy looks pretty epic. The Hood, Hero. Yet another guy that intrigues me somehow and also gives me some kind of a Templar-esque vibe. Is he similar to Azael in some way, shape, or form? Let's see. Computer operation, advanced hand-to-hand combat, gymnastics, and martial arts. Named after our famous hero, the Hood oversaw the streets of London, fighting criminals and foiling their plans. He was employed by his country's secret agency until he worked with Batman Inc., helping his fellow vigilante Batman and other heroes. Interesting. Wouldn't that be so epic to have a BBC show of the Hood? I would tune in absolutely for every episode. Don't know this guy. Aaron Cash, Hero. Looks like he's got a hook there and a security guard outfit. I have no idea. So what do we have here for Aaron Cash? Physical abilities, physical strength, security guard knowledge. You know, that's always handy to have if you're going to be a hero and a security guard. As the chief of security at Arkham Asylum, okay, Aaron Cash ensured that the most dangerous patients were kept in check, even though he lost his hand to Killer Croc. Interesting. Aaron still had the guts to keep working at Arkham. Without him, chaos would reign at the asylum. So, yeah, at Arkham Asylum, you need yourself a security guard who knows security. Then we've got another Robin card. This must be the quote-unquote base card. Robin Hero. That's a cool card. Yeah, the young Robin always gave me kind of like a Peter Pan vibe with his acrobatics and everything. I don't know. I don't know why. It's just this kind of eternal youthfulness. Tim Drake. Exceptional martial artist, combat skill, combat strategy, brilliant deductive skills, peak agility, customized weapons, and computer genius. Tim Drake believed that Batman needed a Robin, and Tim stepped up to take on Robin's mantle. His tactical mind proved to be an asset for the Dark Knight. Even though Tim's superhero life interfered with his personal life, Tim was always there for his partner. So yeah, when the original Robin fell prey to Joker's malicious and relentless, deadly assault, I'm guessing Tim took up the mantle. Good old Alfred. I love Alfred Pennyworth, the hero, butler, and guardian to a young Bruce throughout Bruce Wayne's life. Powers, abilities, professional actor, espionage, hand-to-hand combat, combat medicine, and field dressing. I wonder, did he serve in a war, perhaps on the English front back in the day? I don't know. Alfred Pennyworth saved Gotham City's very own Bruce Wayne as his butler, yet few knew that one of his duties included helping Bruce in his crime-fighting duties as Batman. Loyal to Bruce, Alfred was always there for him, viewing him as a son. That's what I loved about Alfred. I loved him in the comics, and I loved him in the '89 Batman. Michael Gough played that role exceptionally well. Brings us to the next pack. Hope you all are enjoying this. Let me know if there's a favorite of yours or any comment at all. Silver St. Cloud, Hero. It's a pretty picture. Put the foil in the background. I don't know, it's a good contrast. The white, the black, I love that. And then like the purple in the back. It's pretty. All right, anyway. So, Silver St. Cloud, socialite in intuition, her powers. So I'm assuming she's a good friend to somebody? Silver St. Cloud, a wealthy socialite, was one of the few women who could make Bruce Wayne's heart race. She also knew about his secret life at night as Batman, but she feared that Bruce, or Dee Dee, as she affectionately called him, would lose his life on the job. Oh, Dee Dee. The Dark Crusader Dee Dee? Come on, Silver St. Cloud. You gotta give Bruce a little more credit than that. Dee Dee? Really? You might be the only person that could have gotten away with calling him Dee Dee. Anyway, Nightwing the hero. Yeah, so Nightwing, I don't know. I always got the impression when they came up with Nightwing, and I don't know his story really well, but they wanted to give a meaner, badder Robin kind of character. Highly skilled martial artist, expert acrobat, gymnast, and escape artist, extremely athletic and agile, highly intelligent, natural leader, and strategist. Dick Grayson left the mantle of the Boy Wonder behind and became Nightwing. There we go. While he wasn't his mentor's partner anymore, he still upheld his mentor's crusade on crime as he fought bad guys by himself in Bloodhaven or with his fellow Titans. And I can't remember if Nightwing ever got in over his head or if Batman had to kind of, say, hey, bud, I know you're trying to do a good thing here, but you're taking this vigilante thing a little too far on the dark side. I don't know. This guy looks cool. What is his story? Definite Frankenstein vibes. Solomon Grundy. Now that is an amazing name. Villain. Okay, I officially love these cards. I'm not going to lie. I believe I'm going to buy more. Solomon Grundy, 7'5", 517 pounds. Powers and abilities, zombie physiology, self-resurrection, okay, immortality, interesting, limb detachment and regeneration. Good luck, that's all I'm saying. Solomon Grundy, born on a Monday, christened on Tuesday, married on Wednesday, took ill on Thursday, worse on Friday, died on Saturday, buried on Sunday. This is the end of Solomon Grundy. Unbelievable. I am totally intrigued by Solomon Grundy. Wonder if anybody else out there knows anything about Solomon Grundy. I mean, I'm immediately putting together a whole Halloween story. I want to see Batman go up against Solomon Grundy. Brutale. Villain. A villain Brutale. I mean, that's interesting. Got some stitching going on in his face and those, like, razors? I don't know. Powers, abilities, hand-to-hand combat, throwing proficiency with various weapons, including surgical tools. That's pleasant. Once a violent police interrogator in South America, Brutale changed careers, relying on his ruthless skills to become a deadly assassin. But Brutale needed more than raw ferocity to take down Nightwing. Good thing he also had knives. Lots and lots of knives. Don't want to run into that guy in a dark alley. And again, on the aquafoil. Orpheus. Yeah, we have a parade down here. Orpheus. Hero. For Mardi Gras. Gymnastics, dance, martial arts. A dancer and a martial artist. Gavin King traveled the world with his dance troupe and witnessed wars, brutality, and hatred between people. The madness must stop. Gavin would do whatever it took, so he became the vigilante Orpheus in Gotham City. Interesting. I would like to look up the mythology regarding Orpheus to see if there's any ode or tie to his personality. That'll be in another video. Cyborg, hero, another Teen Titan, or former member of Teen Titans. Genius level IQ, enhanced strength, damage resistance, can interrupt signals and hack systems from afar with sensors and onboard processors. 6'5", 385 pounds, NFL, sign me up. All right, here we go. Half man and half machine, Cyborg wouldn't return to his life as superstar athlete Victor Stone. Even so, Cyborg found a new life with the Teen Titans. Over the years, they became like family to him, and they were unstoppable against anyone. Booyah! Yeah, I like Cyborg was also funny in Teen Titans. All right, folks, second to last pack. We got ourselves another Robin. Robin hero. So, what's the deal with this Robin? Damian Wayne. And you know, this brings me, guys, to a conversation I had with a very dear friend of mine who I love to death. And she has a sickly, amazing knowledge base on Robin. One conversation we were having, I had no idea she had this kind of knowledge. And out of the blue, she dives headlong into this whole world of Robinism, spitting out every name of every Robin who ever existed. And I was just sitting there, crickets in my mind, mind blown, having no idea she had this knowledge. Anyway, yeah, I'm still kind of getting over that. But Power's abilities: expert martial artist and assassin, skill detective, highly intelligent and athletic, wears an armored suit and utility belt. Damian Wayne. I mean, do you not think Damian Wayne's like, when you hear that, you know, major pain? But anyway, Damian Wayne was raised and trained by the League of Assassins, yet he chose his own path. Instead of inheriting a criminal empire, he took his place as Robin by his father's side. As the son and partner of Batman, Damian fought evildoers with him. So as the son and partner of Batman, interesting. That would explain Damian Wayne, the son of Bruce Wayne. I did not know. This guy looks all kinds of interesting. Polka Dot Man, the villain. I shall be a villain, and I shall name myself Polka Dot Man. What could this guy be about? Powers and abilities. Costume ejects deadly interdimensional polka dots that can transform into a variety of tools. Good grief. Like, this reminds me of early DC days. And DC at that time, in my opinion, just my humble opinion, had both its awesomeness as well as its epic level corniness. Marvel was kind of more the cool school. But anyway, let's find out about Polka Dot Man. You know, I don't want to assume. What is a dot? A spot? A speck? A nothing? Yet, by his cunning, one man could make a dot a monstrous menace. By tearing off the dots on his costume, the Polka Dot Man transformed simple spots into circular contraptions, saw blades, saucers, spheres, and more. Good grief, Polka Dot Man. What I want to know is, what was his inspiration? Again, I should become the ultimate villain with my polka dots. I mean, that would not be my first thought, but you know, maybe he had a tragic experience as a kid with polka dots. Maybe he had a name as a child and kids made fun of him. Polka dot. I have no idea. Anyway, so we have another. Now, this is Arsenal hero. Looks like Robin. Yeah, Aquafoil card. Interesting. Let's see. Okay, so Arsenal. Expert archer and fighter, gifted mechanic, computer hacker, and engineer, incredibly accurate aim. Roy Harper became one of the greatest marksmen since he was mentored by Green Arrow. He fought alongside the Teen Titans as Speedy, and when he expanded his weaponry beyond his bow and arrows, he went by the moniker Arsenal. Interesting. I am finding out so much coolness about the DC universe that surrounds Batman. Oh boy, okay, here's one of my favorites for sure so far, and that is the Riddler on the purple parallel foil. Oh, this is great. Yeah, okay, so the Riddler. Cryptography, marksmanship, hand-to-hand combat, genius-level intellect, and criminal strategy. So he has the alphabet in one form, and riddle me this, riddle me that. Do you know what other form he has listed here. I'll be curious to know if any of you know. If you do know, please throw it in the comments. It is a riddle from the Riddler, from him to you. All right. Then we have Detective Jason Bard, hero. The dashing Detective Jason Bard. Okay, let's see. He's got basic hand-to-hand combat, deception, investigation, knowledge of the law. Detective Jason Bard used his work for the Gotham City Police Department until he left and worked as a private detective. He sat alone in his office until a case came by his way, and if there's trouble during a case, he could hold his own in a fight. Interesting. You know, I wonder, like, is Commissioner Gordon still a thing in the Batman universe? Does he work alongside Commissioner Gordon? I'd love to know. We have yet again another Robin. I am not surprised. After I had my, talk with my good friend, she informed me there's a ton of Robin story. I mean, they all look the same to me. Robin hero. I mean, this looks like the old Robin, right? Like Jason Todd. First-class athlete, hand-to-hand combat. Jason Todd survived on the streets until he became Robin, the new boy wonder. When Batman took him in, like his predecessor, Jason helped Batman fight crime. Yet he carried a lot of anger and pain and sometimes disobeyed the Dark Knight on the job. I've got to be honest with you guys, and my friend would be able to help me organize the convolution in my thoughts that is the Robin maelstrom. I would have to take them all out, put them in order, because I have no idea now which one came first. This forever evolving Robin, ever since the first Robin was killed off in the 80s. I just find it kind of intriguing. Okay, so we've got Holly Robinson, a hero. Looks Catwomanish. Acrobatics, martial arts, thievery, usage of weaponry. Okay, affiliations, Catwoman is an affiliation. Holly Robinson lived a rough life on the streets, but fortunately she had someone looking out for her, Selina Kyle. Holly was always there for Selina. Whenever Selina needed a favor, Holly even took over the role of Catwoman in East End for her. Now that's a true friend. Yeah, Catwoman, very cool, intriguing character. Okay, who are these guys? Gotham and Gotham Girl. Interesting. I mean, okay, all right. Batman is Gotham, but maybe, I don't know, maybe they stepped in for a while. I don't know. Let's see. Ultra powers, flight, invulnerability. I mean, that in and of itself, I don't know how you can top that. Ultra vision, superhuman stamina, strength, and speed. Siblings Hank and Claire Clover got superpowers and became Gotham and Gotham Girl, respectively. They aimed to save Gotham City and wanted Batman, who had saved Hank and their parents a long time ago, to help them be better superheroes. Well, if you're invulnerable, you definitely have an edge. Good thing they're on the good guy's side, unlike that Frankenstein individual we talked about earlier. Then this guy looks interesting. Bat Zorro. Villain. Okay, I definitely want to know about this guy. Who is this? Bat Zorro. Real name, Wayne Bruce. Okay, so I'm assuming this is the anti-thesis of Batman somehow, some way. Fluency in Bizarro speak, superhuman strength, and world's worst detective. Okay. On Bizarro World, everything opposite. Not is, am. Batzarro am, world's worst detective. Batzarro hate crime so much. Him not lead on Justice League to save world. Batzarro not throw bat-a-bangs to disunite whole city in harmony. Batzarro most horrible hero ever. I'm willing to agree on that, although I'd have to dig. But so far, based on first glance, is that an upside-down bat? Okay, yeah. I'm willing to agree. This guy, Victor Saz. Villain, I'm not sure. Oh yeah, it looks like he spent some time in Arkham. He's marking numbers and counting days and plotting. I can see it right now. Let's see. Proficiency with knives, hand-to-hand combat, complete unpredictability, high intelligence, and I would hazard to guess psychopathic, but a tally for the litigator with the pinstripe tie, a tally for the barista who looked me in the eye, a tally for the wealthy birdman in his stout top hat, a tally for the city's most dishonest diplomat, but this tally I'm saving for the man dressed as a bat. Interesting. I wasn't sure it was actually going in that direction, but I just winged it. And yeah, I had a feeling he had that kind of mentality. All right, last two, we have the Signal hero. The Signal. Genius. Photokinetic vision. Umbrakinesis. Interesting. Martial arts, polymath. He can amplify others' metahuman abilities in his presence. He can see light in the past and present. Duke Thomas was a metahuman, unlike the other Bat people in the Batman family, and he was a superhero called the Signal, the daytime protector of Gotham City. While Gotham wasn't bright and shiny like him, he went to work to protect the city. All right. Last but not least, the first individual in this rip that intrigued me, Azrael once again, the hero. Different outfit this time. Accelerated healing, enhanced senses and reflexes, superhuman strength and stamina, acrobatics, computer hacker, unconscious genius. Jean-Paul Valley looked like an ordinary man, yet the system within him compelled him to fight sinners as Azrael, the avenging angel. I was wondering. While Azrael had a terrible capacity for violence, he had the potential to be a guardian angel for the innocent. I'm intrigued with Azrael. Like I said in the very beginning with the first Azrael pull, I'm going to do a deep dive in Azrael. So, guys, let me know, who was your favorite? Did you have a favorite? Do you have a favorite even outside of this particular set so far? Let me know in the comments below what you think. I appreciate you all. I appreciate all of your time. Everybody who hung in there through me. I hope you enjoyed it. I do it for fun, but I know we're all busy, so I don't expect you guys to watch the entire thing. But I appreciate your support. Also, as a reminder, again, I mentioned it earlier, but tomorrow night, that is going to be Monday, at 6 p.m. EST, 5 p.m. CST, I will be joining Pastor Ken and Three Good Nerds for Nerd Talk. First episode of Nerd Talk. That is going to be on Pastor Ken's Curveballs, so I will have his link in the description. Join us. It's going to be laid back, fun, good times. And yeah, I hope to see you all there. So, without further ado, I will head out, and I wish you all a very awesome rest of your day.